Hello divas, dudes, and dolls, I'm Kira Couture, and welcome back to my cool, calm, and collected little review show, Very Slay, where we're going over each and every one of the looks from Drag Race España All-Stars. What a first episode. I thought this talent show was really good, and it stays proving consistent that if there's going to be a talent show in any international season, España's going to knock it out of the park. Now, there wasn't a main runway theme this episode, but we are going to go over their individual looks from their performances this week, since that's what they basically wore for judging, along with their entrance looks. So for those coming in for the first time who don't know what goes on here, basically, it's like fashion photo review. If I think a look is just fine, I give it an okay. If I really love a look, we give it a slay. And if I don't like it for any reason, we give it an A. And that's all in an effort to find my one slay of the day, my favorite look of the episode, which will then go into a post-crowning ranking video to determine the slay of the season, which I will then do a full illustration of. If that sounds like a good time to you and you want to hop aboard the Very Slay Volkswagen, then be sure to hit that darling little subscribe button and ring the little notification bell so that way you can be among the first to know when each and every new episode drops. And if you're a gamer diva, I'm also doing a playthrough of Persona 3 Reload and putting that over here. We're going to be doing some other playthroughs along with some other fun like presentation things and gaming press coverage stuff. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into all of these looks, shall we? So like I've been doing for these first episodes, we're going to be tackling these in order of appearance. First up, we have Poopy Poisson. Her entrance look, I'm not the biggest fan of this hair just in terms of like the silhouette of it, but I actually really like this outfit. I like the little gloves. I really like the denim treatment on the bodice of this, the little corset. I think using the different washes of denim as well is a really good idea. Honestly, I think it's one of the best looks she's ever presented on the show. My one big issue is that I don't like that the tights are a different color from the skin tone, and I do wish that the boot covers were a little bit more distressed than what they are, but overall, I think this is a pretty solid look for an entrance, and I think it's a good look for her. For Poopy's look, I think it's always an interesting take when people do the half and half. Whenever queens do this whole kind of like Victoria thing, I think it can go south really fast, but I actually think this is really well done. The outfit itself is really nice. I like the gown half of it. I like the suit half of it individually, and together they flow into each other in a really nice seamless way because of them both being in the same fabric, and I think ultimately it benefits the look as a whole. I do like that it's carried over into the wig too, that the drag side of it is the blonde and then the male side of it is in the brown. It really adds that juxtaposition. For me, overall, aesthetically for Poopy, I think this episode is a slay. Next into the workroom was Drag Sethless. I loved this so much. I loved the proportions of this. I loved the skirt and all the ruffles. I loved the color palette. I loved the kind of nude illusion cutout along the sides with this leather gown, all of the ruffles on the gloves. I also really liked the feather and ruffle mohawk. I thought that was really cool to kind of keep the bald look but do something that was different and still consistent with the rest of the look. Looking at the full image, I think the breastplate works, but I also don't really understand why it's there. I don't think it was necessarily essential to the look. I'm also not mad at it. I just wish that maybe there was like one metal element somewhere else in the look that would have really helped tie it in. But other than that, I think this works incredibly well and is a really strong entrance look. Her performance look, now the outfit she ends up in, not really anything crazy to write home about. I do like that the bodysuit is all kind of like connected into the shoe. It's hard to critique a look that is this level of naked. I want to talk about her opening look from the beginning of this gown coat situation with the book headpiece that opens up and is her face in the center, and it had a poem on the side. I'm not really super familiar with all of the origins of this. Marta Mama would be the one to go to if you want that content. However, I did read on Twitter that the poem that was in this specific piece is a poem that was, I believe, I could be very wrong about this. I'm just saying from what I remember at the time of recording this. So if I'm wrong, I will ding myself and correct it here in a caption or something. From what I remember, it was a queer poet who was executed by the former Spanish dictator. Having that poem there in this context, I think really is significant, and I think it's really cool. I thought this whole outfit at the beginning of this was really, really, like, it was really I thought was really impressive, and I enjoyed everything that Seth listed this episode, and I think that their win was 1000% deserved. So I'm absolutely giving them a slay for this week. Next up is Pink Chadora. I hate this. I hate this so much. I hate the print. I think it's a basic silhouette. I don't like the hair. It's too big of a style for how small of a head she has. And on top of that, I understand that the joke when she came in was that last season she had a visible beard under her makeup, and now she doesn't. And so she comes in with the beard and then tears it away. But the beard didn't match like the hair texture of the wig, and so it was really jarring. It made her look like she had no neck. I didn't like it. I did not like this one bit at all. I will say the pink color looks great on her. I would hope so. That's gonna be her name. This was a miss for me. Her talent show look, on the other hand, is probably her talent show outfit, on the other hand, is probably my favorite thing she's ever worn. It honestly is kind of what I wish a mandatory meetings entrance look would have been, because it's a very similar fabric, a very similar color scheme, but done way more successfully and way more elevated. I love the ruffle on the jacket. I think the jacket itself in general is just really interesting. And I think that just across the board, it's a simple silhouette, but I much prefer it to what she came in with. So I think between the two, I'm gonna balance it out and give her an okay for the looks, even though I can't stand the first one. Up next is Jariji Dirkli. I love this entrance look. To me, this is like straight out of a painting. The textures of this, the color scheme, just the print on this fabric is really, really nice. I think this is a great color story for her. I love the gold accents, I love the heavy blush makeup, and I love that she just kept pulling stuff out of her skirt like Mary Poppins with her bag. It was fantastic. It felt very like art museum energy, which I feel like is kind of Jariji's aesthetic in a lot of ways. It's very like classical references, but with a modern spin. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with her being an opera singer. She also looks so cute in the confessionals, and I cannot wait to see her just slay this competition. Her talent show look, on the other hand, the makeup I'm not the biggest fan of. I love this corset, and I love the whole aesthetic of the whole thing. I love just the sheer element of the corset with everything. But for me, this outfit, it's fine. I don't think it's anything exciting or anything to write home about. It's a performance outfit. But I'm still going to give her a slay for the episode because I think her entrance was so strong. Even though I think this outfit is kind of middle of the road, I don't think there's anything particularly really wrong with it outside of the kind of odd choice with the makeup that would take her out of being a slay for this whole episode. Up next is Paquita. I don't mind this look for her entrance. I think the color story is very fun for her, but I definitely didn't really understand the look. I thought the silhouette of the whole thing was really cool. It was not my favorite. I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. Maybe I'm just accustomed to seeing Paquita in a very kind of like folkloric style drag, that this just feels like it's kind of in contrast to that in a way that I don't think works as successfully. So I'm not a fan of this in particular, but it's certainly not the worst one. Her performance outfit, I'm torn because her hair looks incredible. I would say her hair always looks incredible, especially when she's using her natural hair. Her makeup looks great. I loved her talent. I loved the performance of it. It was beautiful, but I do not like this outfit either. I don't think it's a flattering cut on the sleeve. I think it's just really boring and bland, and I think if she's gonna do all this aerial silk stuff, I think it's really hard to sell a black garment as a performance outfit, especially on something like this on a TV set and a stage like this. Honestly, had she done just like a sleek nude illusion bodysuit that was either stoned or had like a glitter treatment in the fabric or something that added a level of sparkle, I think she would have been set, and I think you probably could have made a case for her being in the top even more so because of the look. Ultimately though, I'm gonna give her just an okay this week. Up next is Samantha Valentine's, and I have to say the glow up on this one with this entrance look, this is great. This is definitely the best look she's worn in any episode of Drag Race. I love this pink kind of metallic leather treatment of the whole garment. I love the jacket, I love the skirt. It's just a really cool cut coat. Definitely a bit long for her, but my biggest issue that I had with Samantha in season 2 was that it felt like she didn't know how to dress for her proportions. Like she didn't know how to dress for her body shape and her head shape, and like she was wearing hairstyles that weren't flattering, she was wearing outfits that weren't flattering, and it made her silhouette in drag look really off. And I think she's had the time and now she's got the resources that's allowed her to really figure that out. I personally did not like her in season 2 at all. I didn't think she was funny. I wasn't on board with any of it. This episode, she's kind of turned me around into being a fan because she was nailing everything. The commentary was so good. Her talent show was so funny. On getting into her talent show, I know it wasn't an intentionally good outfit, but I think it's fine. It's nothing to write home about. I don't think it's incredible. It's very simple. It's very off the rack, which, you know, for something like a story like this, I think works with what she was needing it for. So I'm gonna give her an okay for the talent show look. I'm gonna give her a slay overall for the episode because her entrance look is so good, and also she just killed the performance. So there. Up next is Sagittaria. This entrance look, had she not had the same nipple issue that she had in season 1, I would have said this is probably my favorite entrance look of the group. I love the fact that with this belt dress, the buckles aren't in a line. They kind of like swirl across the body. I think it is the most natural thing to do with something like this. And they're all different sizes and the belts are different sizes. So it really adds a lot of visual interest because it's not just like a tube made out of belts. There's definitely some more intentional design aspects going on with this that I really, really love. I love the hair. I think it looks great on her. Makeup is stunning as always. I would say this is one of my favorite looks I've seen from her in general from the show. So I'm excited to see what else she's gonna bring. Her performance outfit, I thought this blue color was really nice on her. I do really like the whole thing. It's just a bodysuit, but I think the design elements of the bodysuit in terms of where the cutouts are placed, just the overall engineering of it, I really think looks good. So I'm gonna give her a slay for this week. Up next, we have Onyx Unleashed. And I have to say, when I saw the photos of the entrances, specifically the ones I'm using for this video, Onyx's look, I really did not like because I love the outfit. I love the silhouette. I like the hair. The hair's not my favorite, but I think it works with everything. What took me out of it was the makeup because I thought she had just underlined her cheeks with this really harsh shape. Straight on, this makeup does not work. However, when she turns to the side and you see that the cheek shape is hooked around the cheekbone and like into the eye makeup, and it looks really cool from the side and from that 3/4 view. I think just when you see it straight on, it's just really, really harsh and not my favorite. But the rest of it I thought was cool, and I really liked that the map she walked in with was like constellation versions of her looks from season 2. I thought that was a nice little touch. Her talent show outfit, however, I wasn't as big of a fan of in general. I think the makeup is a lot better here than in the first look, and I like the galaxy print, but I also think that the galaxy print kind of looks like a bed sheet set. It just is not my favorite. The headpiece is cool. I don't know. I think the staging of this number really sold the look in a much better way. I think I'm gonna give Onyx an okay overall this episode because even though I came back around to really liking her entrance look, she's kind of in the middle of the pack to me, looks-wise, this week. And last but certainly not least, we have Hornella Gongora. I really like her entrance look, actually. You can tell it's very clearly a reference to things she wore in season 3, which I enjoy, and I hope that she actually gets flowers this season because there was a number of challenges last time. I think you could have argued she was a more deserving winner than the person who won the challenge. I hope that she actually gets to win something this time. Really liked her entrance line being a joke about being stuck on the set over the gap between season 3 and now, as she's just kind of been run haggard and trying to get out. Her hair is a mess, but it goes with the look and like makes sense for a storytelling perspective thing. I don't mind it as much. I love this pantsuit. I just love the cut of it. It looks really, really nice on her. So I really enjoyed it. It's definitely one of my favorite entrances this week. Her talent show look, it's fine. It's a look with towels, bath time fantasy. It's a performance outfit. I don't really think there's anything all that incredible about it, so I think I'm just going to give her an okay. But I will say she did really knock the challenge out of the park, especially if you understand the context of it. Go watch Marta Mama to get all of that. I'll have a link to that video in the description because she goes over everything with the show in like fairly in-depth detail, explains the jokes that work really well in Spanish that don't land in the subtitles because the context has changed. Definitely go check her out if you really want to appreciate this show and the contestants and their artwork. Cannot recommend her enough. But anyways, I'm still gonna give her a slay. And now with all of that out of the way, it's time to pick our slay of the day. I've got a few different contenders, but I think I'm going to have to go, surprise, surprise, editing Kara here. As I was editing this, I changed my mind on what my slay of the day was. So instead of giving it to what I was originally going to, I am tweaking my choice a little bit, and I'm instead going to once again pick Jariji for my slay of the day and give it to her entrance look. And it would be remiss of me to not give slay of the day to the look that really was my favorite in terms of aesthetics and styling and all of that alone. And I can't wait to add this to our post-season ranking video to figure out which one I'm gonna do a little doodle of. So that is going to be it for me for today. Ideally, these very slay episodes for España All-Stars will be dropping on Thursdays every single week. Be sure to come by, check all of that out, catch my Persona videos in the meantime. But get excited because the day after this video goes up, it is Drag Race UK versus the World and a new Drag Race Season 16 episode, and it is my pageant step down. It's gonna be a long day for me because I will be getting in drag early, filming my UK versus the World reaction, going and doing a pageant for most of the night, and then doing a runway review of the Season 16 episode, all in one day. And I can't wait for it to be over already. So we will see you next time. Promise I will be in more of like a full look. I am just very cold and very tired, and this is day 1 of 6 of being in full face at the very least for hours and hours and hours at a time. We'll see you all whenever we see you. Until next time, don't forget to go out there and stay kind, stay queer, and until we meet again, I hope your day is very slay.